just finished listening to a podcast by Brother BenX. And honestly, I listened to podcasts from all of the BWO founders. It's really, for me, it's a place where I want to get to where I have a team of brothers with that same focus and that same understanding of each other and the ability to communicate, put egos aside, and to have that sole focus and that sole purpose on building a community that directs the future of people that look like us. Men and women alike that look like us. You know, bringing a sense of order and bringing it in a way that they can truly trust the direction on which, you know, we're heading. He was talking today about basically how the enemies that are around us and the enemies that are next to us are often there to polish us and basically test our endurance to see if we can uphold the weight of leadership. You know, in other words, there will always be naysayers saying that, you know, this person doesn't have it, this person is not what they seem. You know, and this is basically what they call trolls. You know, people just finding different places to poke you in order to cause a reaction and bring you out of your character. And as he was saying this, you know, I was just envisioning and, you know, like, damn, that's, you know, what they got going on. You already know that, you know, they've bumped heads multiple times, but the fact that they're still together and the fact that it's four brothers that are still together and are still pushing themselves with a common goal, and each of them bring an expertise in a different area, and to still be able to piggyback off of each other, to link and not disrespect one another, that's fantastic. It's very inspiring, and I hope many brothers and sisters hope they're paying attention to what's really going on and the magic that they're showing, because there's very, very few young black men who can come together and do what they're doing. You know, and the fact that they each have identified their part and what they're supposed to do and what their strengths are. You know, for instance, Brother Chris Cole I Am, he's basically like the head, but he's the old head there. Even though he's not old, but you know what I mean? He's the old head. He's the oldest out of the group. You know, so he brings a lot of wisdom. He's a 7-figure trader. He's been doing that for 13, 15 years, so that's what he teaches. And each and every member, I'm sure, has made much more income through trading now that they have connected to him and are able to use that skill. You know, and that goes with Bitcoin, goes with ETFs, you know, just the whole trade game. You know, he's a pioneer in that arena, and he's a black man. He's been doing this for such a long time that, you know, even white counterparts come to him for his advice. You know, but he's taking the time, and he's really put emphasis on wanting to give us that information, you know. And so you know that you know, they look up to him in a way of deep respect and deep regard. You know, Jake Taylor Jacobs, you know, Mr. I am the bank. You know, him building, you know, multiple seven-figure businesses without any debt. You know, never going into debt, never borrowing money from the bank. And, you know, when you listen to his podcast and you just follow him, you know, he'll tell you how his dad used to be a lender. And his dad used to break down to him how the bank makes their money, this, that, and third. And he just took it 1,000 times to the 1,000th degree. And, you know, now he's in a position where he's teaching us how to, you know, leverage our money or place our money in the right accounts via life insurance policies, and just bringing order. Yeah, just bringing order to the household and structure to the household financially. You know, and that's a beautiful blessing, you know, that we can't be grateful enough to have. And that's coming from a young black man who just turned 29, I believe. Or he's 29, just turned 30. But that's a great deal because he has multiple seven-figure businesses and they're all thriving. And they're all dedicated to empowering people like me and you, men and women alike. You got Brother BenX. Brother BenX is NOI member extraordinaire, and he's 27, just had a birthday recently. But he's one of the greatest influencers as far as social media, and his ability to extract different strategies and implement them and then break it down to us so that we can also use these strategies and be able to monetize what it is that we do in life via social media. So if you're selling clothes, he can break it down for you for that. If you're an influencer and you just create videos, he can break it down for you in that manner. You know, but either way, he breaks it down and he gives great he has great references to break it down in a manner which it becomes also a spiritual involving of information, basically. So like how he breaks it down is just as much as a spiritual lesson. Same thing with Jake Taylor Jacobs, but it's just as much as a spiritual lesson as it is a business lesson. You know, 19 Keys comes through with just, for me, that's just how you want to fill a room. That's how, as a black man, you know, each of them have their aura. Each of them have their gifts. 19 Keys, the futuristic understanding of what's going on and the ability to pay attention to the key information, you know, and to be able to explain it in a way that it's understood and you're able to regurgitate it in many different backgrounds of people relate to it and gravitate to it. You know, each of these men embody what it is to be a god in themselves, and each of them give their praises to God for blessing them with their abilities. You know, none of them think that they were given to it by accident. They all know that they were blessed by God. It's God-given abilities that they have locked into and executed in order to bring the information and build the reality in which they're living. You know, and they're doing that by bringing us along through conferences, through masterminds, through the BWO Academy, and each of them still doing their own individual aspects, doing their own individual social media, on their own social media platforms as well. You know, that was just a great. These are just some great men to follow. And if you don't want to be a follower, that's cool. You don't have to follow, but it's some great men to align yourself with, to use as references. You know, right now, you know, we've always looked for teachers that are older, but at the same time, there are teachers that are younger than us and teachers that are our age, in which we direct our future. You know, we are the future. The future is now. You know, we don't need a 70-year-old white man, 80-year-old white man trying to make things right for us. You know, that same 70, 80-year-old white man 30 years ago was talking cold shit about us. But now, because it's what he needs, you know, people just not knowing history enough to realize that the game that's being played, or the hands that's being dealt, or the poker face that's being shown. You know, we have our own leaders. You know, I just given you four great leaders of our time right now, and that's Chris Cole, I Am, Brother BenX, Jake Taylor Jacobs, and 19 Keys. Do the rest of the research yourself. As Chris says, do your due diligence. As 19 Keys say, tap in. You know, these guys will lead you in a direction that you can take your family and be proud of. You can definitely take your family along this ride and be proud of it, and have no shame in it. You know, bring order, bring execution, and bring intentional actions into your family's bloodline, and flip this script from poverty to wealthy. It's a mindset, but it's also takes action, and it takes the right action. So do what you got to do, and follow these guys, follow these men, and pay attention, learn, and don't be ashamed to tap in with them. Keep fit. Knowledge is power.